The stars shimmered against the blackness of space as a sleek vessel approached Earth. Unlike human spacecraft, this ship moved with an unnatural grace, leaving no heat trail or visible propulsion. Commander Xelner stood on the bridge, his 4 eyes scanning the data feeds that surrounded him. "Preliminary scans complete," reported Officer Vex. "The species calls itself human. They've achieved basic space travel within their system, but nothing beyond. Primitive nuclear fission weapons. No energy-based defense systems." Xelnar nodded, his scaled skin reflecting the blue light of the control panels. "Begin the full assessment protocol. The Council wants a thorough report. For 2 weeks, the alien scout ship orbited Earth, invisible to most human detection systems. They launched small drone-like probes that entered the atmosphere under cover of darkness, collecting samples and data from every continent. At NASA's Deep Space Monitoring Facility in Nevada, astronaut Paul Mitchell stared at his screen with growing concern. "There it is again," he said, pointing to a faint anomaly on the radar. "Something's up there, and it's not one of ours." Olivia Reeves, the lead astrophysicist, leaned over his shoulder. Her dark hair fell forward as she examined the readings. "That's the 3rd time this week. The pattern doesn't match any known satellite or space debris." "I'm telling you, we're being watched," Paul insisted. Olivia sighed. "I believe you, but the director won't. Not without more evidence." As predicted, their report was dismissed as equipment malfunction. The facility director, an older man with thinning gray hair named Dr. Howard, barely glanced at their data. "Recalibrate your systems," he ordered. "We can't have false readings causing unnecessary panic." Back in orbit, Selner reviewed the final assessment. "Their most advanced weapons could barely damage our shuttlecraft, let alone a proper warship," he noted. "Their communications technology is primitive, radio waves and digital signals easily intercepted and decoded." "They show potential," Vex commented. "Their rate of technological development is accelerating. In another century, they might achieve interstellar capability." Xelnar waved a dismissive hand. "The Council doesn't concern itself with potential threats, only actual ones." He entered the final classification into the report. Threat Level 0. Free spacefaring civilization with regional conflicts. No unified planetary government. No threat to Galactic Council interests. With the assessment complete, Xelnar authorized the placement of a monitoring beacon in high Earth orbit. The small device, about the size of a human car, deployed its solar panels and began transmitting data back to Council space. "Standard protocol complete," Vex announced. "The beacon will alert us if they make any unexpected technological leaps." Xelnar nodded. "Set course for the portal point. Our mission is complete." The alien vessel accelerated away from Earth, becoming briefly visible as a streak of light that amateur astronomers across the globe would later debate in online forums. At her apartment, Olivia couldn't sleep. She sat at her desk, reviewing the data Paul had secretly copied for her. "There's something here," she muttered to herself, enhancing the images repeatedly. In the early morning hours, her computer program finally cleaned up one of the radar images enough to reveal an unmistakable outline, a craft of some kind, but with proportions and capabilities matching nothing in human records. Her phone rang. It was Paul. "Did you see it?" he asked immediately. "Yes," she replied, her voice tight with excitement and fear. "What do we do now?" "Nothing," Paul said after a moment of silence. "Not yet. No one would believe us, and I'm not losing my career over this. We document everything and wait." "Wait for what?" Olivia asked. Paul's voice was somber through the phone. "For them to come back. Because they will. Things like this always come in pairs. First contact, and then whatever comes next." As they spoke, the alien beacon silently began its work, sending its first data packet toward a distant star system. The message was simple: planet designated Sol 3, inhabited by species human, assessed and classified as Threat Level 0. Resource survey recommended before consideration for future contact. The humans below continued their lives, unaware that their world had just been weighed, measured, and found unthreatening by the standards of a vast galactic community. For most, it was just another day on Earth. For Paul and Olivia, it was the beginning of a new understanding. They were not alone, and someone was watching. 5 years passed quickly. Paul Mitchell now directed NASA's Deep Space Monitoring Program, a promotion he earned after developing new detection systems inspired by the strange readings from years ago. Few believed his theories about alien visitors, but his improved technology proved valuable nonetheless. On a cool October morning, alarms blared throughout the facility. Paul rushed to the main control room, where screens displayed multiple large objects entering the solar system. "What do we have?" Paul asked, his voice steady despite his racing heart. 18 objects, sir," replied Susan Kelly, the lead systems operator. "They're big, moving fast, and nothing like we've ever tracked before." Paul leaned forward, studying the data. These weren't meteors or natural phenomena. Their movement was too controlled, too purposeful. "Get me satellite visual confirmation." Within minutes, the images appeared on the main screen. Even from a distance, the vessels were clearly artificial. Massive structures with geometric designs that no human engineer had ever created. "Call the president," Paul ordered, "and get me Olivia Reeves at MIT." Across the country, Olivia was analyzing mineral samples when her secure phone rang. Seeing Paul's name, she answered immediately. "They're back," he said without greeting. "Not one ship. 18. Olivia's hand tightened on the phone. "Where are they headed?" "The asteroid belt, it seems. But that could change." Paul paused. "I need you here. Your research on unusual mineral compositions might help us understand what they want." Within hours, the world learned of the alien presence. Unlike 5 years ago, the evidence was undeniable. Global news networks showed enhanced images of the alien fleet, triggering waves of panic and wonder across the planet. The UN Security Council convened an emergency session. General Samuel Warren of the U.S. Space Force presented what little information they had. "The fleet consists of 15 larger vessels and 3 smaller, more agile craft," he explained. "Based on their configuration, we believe the majority are mining or cargo ships, with the smaller ones serving as military escorts." "Mining ships?" asked the French representative. "What could they possibly want from our solar system?" The answer came 3 days later when Olivia made a breakthrough. She rushed into the crisis center where Paul and military officials were monitoring the aliens' progress. "It's duranium," she announced, placing her tablet on the conference table. "That's what they're after." "What's duranium?" asked General Warren. "It's what they call it," Olivia explained. "It's actually a rare form of uranium with unique properties. Our scientists discovered it in asteroid samples last year, but we haven't found practical applications yet. The asteroids in our belt are unusually rich with it." Paul studied her data. "So they came for mining, not invasion." "It appears so," Olivia said. "But they didn't ask permission. They didn't establish contact. They just took." General Warren's expression hardened. "That's still an invasion in my book." The alien fleet began operations within the asteroid belt, using energy beams to break apart the space rocks and extract materials. Earth's attempts at communication went unanswered. Radio signals, laser pulses, even directed mathematical sequences received no response. "They're ignoring us," Paul said, watching the mining operation through powerful telescopes. "Like we don't matter." General Warren nodded grimly. "We need to make them notice us." In secure facilities around the world, military leaders and scientists gathered. 6 experimental spacecraft, the most advanced humanity had ever built, were readied for launch. Their mission: confront the aliens and assert Earth's sovereignty over its solar system. Colonel Alan Foster, selected to lead the mission, studied the alien vessels through simulation screens. "They think we're harmless, He told his crew during their final briefing, "We're going to change their minds." Major Diane Carter, his second-in-command, and the developer of the ship's revolutionary propulsion system, checked the final preparations. "The EMP weapons are untested against their technology," she warned. "Everything about this mission is untested," Alan replied. "But we have no choice. We can't let them take what's ours without a fight." As Earth prepared its response, the alien mining continued. The beacon they had left years ago transmitted new data: unexpected mineral wealth, minimal security concerns, primitive natives unlikely to pose any meaningful resistance. How wrong they were about to discover they had been. The 6 Earth ships rose from their hidden launch sites around the globe, joining in high orbit before accelerating toward the asteroid belt. Each vessel, Defiant, Challenger, Guardian, Phoenix, Sentinel, and Valiant, represented the pinnacle of human engineering, built with technology that most people didn't know existed. Colonel Alan Foster sat in the command chair of the Defiant, watching as the blue sphere of Earth grew smaller behind them. "All ships reporting ready, sir," Major Diane Carter said from her station. "Engine efficiency exceeding expectations." Alan nodded. "Begin Operation Countdown." "Let's hope Frank's EMP weapons work as promised." Frank Winters, monitoring the weapons systems from Earth, had developed electromagnetic pulse generators specifically designed to disable electronic systems. The theory was sound, but no one knew if alien technology would be affected. 3 days to intercept, Diane announced. "Lieutenant Hayes is picking up increased communications between the alien vessels." Lieutenant Greg Hayes, hunched over his console, was slowly making progress in decoding the alien transmissions. "They're discussing extraction rates," he reported. "No indication they've detected us yet." For 3 days, the Earth fleet approached silently, using the asteroids as cover. When they finally reached visual range of the alien mining operation, the sight was both awesome and terrifying. The alien ships were enormous, each mining vessel at least 5 times larger than Earth's biggest spacecraft. They used energy beams to slice asteroids into manageable chunks, which smaller drones then carried into processing bays. "They're stripping our system bare," Diane whispered. Alan's jaw tightened. "Broadcast the message on all frequencies, Lieutenant." Gray activated the communication system. "This is Lieutenant Gray Hayes of the Earth Defense Fleet. You are extracting resources from our solar system without permission. Cease operations immediately and establish diplomatic contact, or we will be forced to take action." Silence followed. The alien ships continued working as if they hadn't heard. "No response, sir," Greg reported after repeated attempts. Alan exchanged glances with Diane. "They're ignoring us. Implement Phase 2. The Earth fleet split into 3 pairs. Defiant and Challenger approached from above the orbital plane, Guardian and Phoenix from below, while Sentinel and Valiant moved in directly. "EMP weapons charged and ready," reported the weapons officer on each ship. Alan took a deep breath. "All ships, fire on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark." 6 pulses of energy shot toward the alien fleet, each targeting the different mining vessel. The shots hit their marks, causing 2 of the alien ships to suddenly go dark, their energy beams shutting off mid-operation. Direct hits on targets 2 and 5. Diane called out, "They're adrift." For a moment, it seemed too easy. Then the 3 military escort vessels moved with shocking speed. They fired no visible weapons, but waves of energy pulsed outward. "Incoming energy surge," Greg shouted. The Guardian was hit first, its hull crumpling under forces no human engineer had anticipated. Phoenix tried to evade but was caught by a second pulse, breaking apart in a silent explosion. Evasive maneuvers. Alan ordered as Defiant rocked from a near miss. "Target the military escorts." Sentinel managed to fire a second EMP blast, temporarily disabling another mining ship before an energy pulse tore it in half. Valiant, piloted by Commander Jack Nelson, made a desperate run directly at one of the escort ships, firing continuously. Valiant is hit, Diane reported, but they damaged the escort's propulsion system. Ellen watched as the Valiant broke apart, debris scattering across space. Challenger, cover our retreat. We've made our point. As the two remaining Earth ships turned to flee, one of the alien military vessels pursued. Its energy weapon charged for another blast. They're locking onto Challenger, Greg warned. Without hesitation, Alan ordered, "Bring us about." Position between Challenger and the alien. Defiant swung around, taking the energy pulse meant for Challenger. The ship shuddered violently, systems failing throughout. Main power down. Diane shouted over the emergency alarms. Life support on backup. Alan knew they had only moments. Launch the data probe. Make sure Earth gets everything we've learned. As Challenger escaped with the precious combat data, Defiant drifted helplessly. To everyone's surprise, the aliens didn't finish them off. Instead, the military escort returned to the mining operation, apparently dismissing the damaged Earth vessel as no further threat. "They don't even consider us worth destroying," Greg said bitterly. Alan's expression was grim but determined. That's their second mistake. Their first was coming here at all. He turned to Diane. "Get emergency power to the engines. We're going home with an alien technology sample." The crew worked feverishly, salvaging parts from damaged sections of the ship. Against all odds, they managed to capture a piece of debris from one of the disabled alien vessels. Earth had lost 4 ships and many good people, but they'd proven humanity wasn't defenseless. And they'd acquired something potentially more valuable than any asteroid: alien technology to study and reverse engineer. The war for Earth's solar system had begun. 6 months passed since the first battle. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility carved into the stone, Dr. Karen Hughes held up a small piece of metal. It glowed faintly blue under the laboratory lights. "This is the key," she told the assembled military and scientific leaders. "Their hull material absorbs energy and redirects it. That's why our weapons barely scratch them." Colonel Alan Foster, now recovered from his injuries, leaned forward. "Can we reproduce it?" "Not exactly," Karen admitted. "But we've created something similar using Earth materials." Earth had changed dramatically in half a year. Nations that once fought each other now worked together against a common threat. Factories worldwide switched from making cars and appliances to producing spacecraft parts and weapons. Schools taught children about alien technology instead of ancient history. In another section of the underground complex, engineer Steve Barrett supervised the construction of a new shield system. "The aliens use a 3-layer defense," he explained to Major Diane Carter. "We can't match the inner layer yet, but our version of the outer 2 should give our ships some protection." Diane nodded, studying the plans. "How soon can we install them on the new fleet?" 2 weeks for the first 6 ships, then 3 more every week after that. Meanwhile, computer scientist Maria Lopes worked day and night to understand the alien language and communication systems. The data captured during the battle proved invaluable. "They don't just use radio waves," she told Paul Mitchell during a briefing. "They communicate through quantum entanglement. That's why they ignored our messages. They weren't listening on those channels." Paul frowned. "Can we speak to them on their level?" "Not yet," Maria said, "but we can listen. And more importantly, we've cracked their basic command codes." All across Earth, people worked together with a sense of purpose not seen in generations. Former enemies became allies. Rich nations shared resources with poorer ones. Every person had a role to play in Earth's defense. Admiral John Peterson, appointed to lead the Global Defense Initiative, established his headquarters deep under NORAD Mountain. His strategy room contained a holographic map of the solar system, with the alien mining fleet marked in red. "We can't match their firepower in a direct confrontation," he told world leaders during a secure video conference. "So we won't fight fair. We'll use guerrilla tactics, hit-and-run attacks, ambushes, and deception." Outside the military and scientific efforts, regular citizens contributed too. A global network of amateur astronomers tracked alien movements. Computer programmers volunteered to analyze alien code. Factories ran day and night, workers taking pride in each component they built. In orbit around Earth, the first of the new defense fleet took shape. These weren't the hastily modified vessels of the first battle, but purpose-built warships incorporating reverse-engineered alien technology. The Avenger will be ready for trials next week, Steve told Admiral Peterson during an inspection. She's twice as fast as anything we sent before, with shields that should withstand at least one direct hit from their energy weapons. John nodded approvingly. And the special modifications? In place, Steve confirmed. If they scan us, they'll see only a fraction of our actual capabilities. Back in the alien fleet, Commander Grez of the security escort filed a report to the Galactic Council. Native resistance encountered and neutralized with minimal losses. Request additional security vessels as a precaution, though native technology poses no significant threat. The Council reviewed the report alongside the mining operation's impressive production figures. They approved the request, dispatching a small reinforcement fleet. In their view, the incident was minor. Primitive natives futilely defending resources they couldn't even use. But in their arrogance, they overlooked something crucial. The monitoring beacon they'd left in Earth orbit years ago still classified humans as Threat Level 0. It hadn't been programmed to recognize how quickly humans could adapt, innovate, and unify when faced with an existential threat. And that mistake would cost them dearly. The message reached the Galactic Council headquarters on a peaceful morning. Fleet Commander Kryvax stood before the council members, his tall figure casting a long shadow across the gleaming floor. The mining operation on Sol 3's asteroid belt has encountered unexpected resistance, he reported. Native vessels destroyed 2 mining ships and damaged a security escort before being neutralized. Murmurs spread through the circular chamber. A senior council member leaned forward. How is this possible? The planet was classified as Threat Level 0. Apparently, they developed faster than anticipated. Kryvax replied. I recommend upgrading their classification to Threat Level 2 and dispatching a proper armada to secure the system. After brief deliberation, the Council approved the plan. Within days, an armada of 50 warships prepared to depart for Earth. This was no mining expedition with security escorts. This was a military force designed to subdue resistance. Among the Council scientists assigned to the Armada, Zara studied the reports from Earth with growing concern. Unlike her colleagues, she questioned the ethics of the resource expedition. We took their resources without communication or consent, she noted during a briefing. Their resistance was not aggression but defense. Her concerns were dismissed. The Council had operated this way for millennia, identifying resource-rich systems, classifying native species by threat level, and extracting what they needed. Earth was no different. Back on Earth, Intelligence Officer Lisa Collins prepared for the most dangerous mission of her life. Trained in stealth operations, she would pilot a small craft to Pluto's moon Charon, where the aliens had established a communications outpost. Your objective is to access their central computer and download their invasion plans, Admiral Peterson told her during the final briefing. This is likely a one-way mission. Lisa nodded, her expression determined. I understand, sir. If there's even a small chance of success, it's worth the risk. Her ship departed silently, using the new stealth technology developed from the alien materials. For 3 weeks, she traveled through the outer solar system, finally reaching Charon's dark surface. The alien outpost consisted of a dome-like structure with minimal security. They clearly didn't expect humans to venture this far. Using the codes Maria Lopes had developed, Lisa bypassed the exterior locks and slipped inside. The alien computer systems glowed with an eerie blue light. Working quickly, Lisa connected her device and began downloading data. As information flooded in, her eyes widened. This is worse than we thought, she whispered to herself. Meanwhile, Earth continued preparing its defenses. The new fleet now numbered 30 vessels, each incorporating alien technology. Hidden bases on Mars, the Moon, and several asteroids housed missile platforms and fighter squadrons. At the main research facility, Dr. Karen Hughes unveiled her most dangerous creation, the Omega Protocol. "This is our last resort," she explained to the world leaders. "An antimatter weapon capable of destroying the entire alien fleet. But using it within the inner solar system would cause catastrophic damage to Earth as well." The civilian population prepared too. Underground shelters expanded beneath major cities. People learned emergency protocols and basic defense techniques. Children practiced evacuation drills in schools. In her laboratory, Olivia Reeves made a startling discovery while studying alien communication patterns. "They're not just coming for resources," she told Paul Mitchell urgently. "According to these transmissions, Earth itself contains massive deposits of uranium deep within our crust." Paul's face paled. "They're not just planning to mine our asteroids. They want to mine Earth itself." Lisa's mission proved successful when her small craft returned to Earth orbit, severely damaged but still intact. The data she recovered revealed the full invasion plan and, crucially, the Council's protocols for handling resistant species. "They classify worlds from threat level 0 to 10, she reported during her debriefing. "Earth has been upgraded to level 2, which authorizes them to pacify regional resistance and relocate native populations as necessary for resource extraction." Admiral Peterson studied the tactical display showing the approaching Armada. "How long until they arrive?" 3 weeks, Lisa answered. "Their fleet is led by Fleet Lord Kryvax, one of their most experienced commanders." Peterson nodded grimly. "Then we have 3 weeks to prepare the surprise of their lives." Outside the briefing room, Earth's new warships conducted their final training exercises. On their hulls, fresh paint displayed names like Defiance, Vengeance, and Remember Phoenix, honoring the ships lost in the first battle. The coming confrontation would determine the fate of humanity. The alien armada entered the solar system with confidence bordering on arrogance. 50 warships moved in perfect formation, their sensors scanning for Earth's primitive defenses. Fleet Lord Kryvax stood on his command deck, watching the holographic display of the system. "No sign of resistance yet," his second-in-command reported. "Their fleet is hiding in orbit around their home planet." Kryvax made a dismissive gesture. "As expected, these primitives learned their lesson in the first encounter. Proceed as planned." But as the Armada passed the orbit of Neptune, 6 small objects detached from the darkness of space, stealth attack craft hidden on the outer moons. Moving at incredible speed, they fired specialized weapons at the rear ships of the alien formation. "We're under attack," shouted a junior officer. "Engines disabled on vessels 12 and 17. Kryvax whirled toward the display. "Impossible. There's nothing there." The stealth fighters disappeared as quickly as they had appeared, leaving 2 alien warships drifting helplessly. When repair vessels approached the damaged ships, hidden mines activated, destroying one repair craft and damaging another. Admiral Peterson watched these events from his command center under NORAD Mountain. "Operation Scattered Shield is working," he told his officers. "Begin Phase 2. Earth's defense relied on a carefully planned strategy of ambushes and traps. Rather than facing the superior alien force directly, Peterson had created a series of killing zones throughout the solar system. The alien armada pressed forward, now moving more cautiously. As they reached Jupiter's orbit, they encountered what appeared to be a small defensive fleet of 8 Earth vessels. "Primitive ships at 270, reported the alien sensor officer. "They appear to be attempting to defend the gas giant's moons." Kryvax smiled coldly. "Deploy Battle Group 3 to eliminate them." 15 alien warships broke formation to pursue the Earth fleet, which immediately retreated toward Jupiter's largest moon, Ganymede. The aliens followed, unaware they were being lured into a trap. As the battle group passed between Ganymede and Europa, dozens of hidden missile platforms activated on both moons, launching hundreds of projectiles at once. Simultaneously, the retreating Earth ships reversed course. and fired their main weapons. Caught in the crossfire, 7 alien vessels were destroyed before they could raise shields. 3 more sustained heavy damage. On Earth, millions watched the battle through the feed from space telescopes. In homes and public squares, people cheered as humanity landed its first significant blow against the invaders. "They're adapting to our tactics," Admiral Peterson warned his commanders. "Prepare for their counterattack." The alien Armada regrouped and accelerated toward Mars, clearly enraged by the unexpected losses. Fleet Lord Kryvax personally led the attack on the Earth base visible on the red planet's surface. "Destroy it completely," he ordered. "Show these primitives the consequence of defiance." 20 alien ships bombarded the Mars base with energy weapons, reducing it to rubble. But their victory celebration was short-lived. "My lord," called an alien officer, the base was empty. No life signs, no energy signatures. Before Kryvax could respond, engineer Frank Winters activated his final mission. Hidden within the asteroid belt, he had spent months preparing an antimatter charge large enough to disrupt the alien formation. "For Earth," he whispered, pressing the detonation control. The explosion tore through space, catching 12 alien vessels in its radius. The antimatter reaction overwhelmed their shields, vaporizing ships and crew instantly. Frank's sacrifice was not in vain. The alien Armada, now reduced to 31 ships, hesitated for the first time. Aboard the main science vessel, Dr. Karen Hughes and her team finished a special project, a computer virus designed to infiltrate alien systems. Using data from the alien outpost on Karen, they had created a program that could disable key functions of the invading fleet. "Virus package ready for deployment," she reported to Admiral Peterson, "but we'll need to get it directly into their network." Meanwhile, on Earth, civilian engineer Ryan Cooper made a breakthrough in weapons technology. Working with quantum entanglement principles he had gleaned from the alien data, he developed a targeting system that could penetrate alien shields. "It works by linking our weapons' quantum state with their shield matrix," he explained to the military engineers. "Instead of trying to break through their shields, we make our weapons exist on both sides simultaneously." Kryvax, frustrated by the continuing losses, made a critical mistake. He split his remaining forces, sending 15 ships to secure the inner system, while leading 16 toward Earth for a decisive strike. Admiral Peterson saw the opportunity immediately. "They've divided their fleet," he told his commanders. "Now we can defeat them in detail. All ships, prepare to engage the Earthbound group. It's time to show them what humanity is truly capable of." Earth's remaining 14 warships formed a defensive line between the Moon and Earth. Admiral Peterson had positioned them carefully, using the Moon's gravity to enhance their maneuverability. The alien fleet, now reduced to 28 vessels, approached with obvious caution. "They're scanning us," reported Lieutenant Gray Hayes from his station aboard the flagship Defiance. "Their formation suggests they're expecting another trap." Colonel Alan Foster, commanding the Defiance, nodded grimly. "Let's not disappoint them. Launch the drones." Hundreds of small, unmanned craft burst from hidden bases on the Moon's far side. Each drone carried a miniature version of the EMP weapon that had proven effective in the first battle, now enhanced with the knowledge gained from studying alien technology. "Drone swarm deploying," Diane Carter confirmed. "Enemy vessels are adjusting formation to intercept." Kryvax watched the approaching cloud of Earth devices with contempt. Primitive distraction tactics. Destroy those drones, then continue to their homeworld. Alien energy weapons flashed, destroying dozens of drones. But the small craft were numerous and quick, darting between the larger alien vessels. Several managed to attach themselves to alien hulls and detonate their EMP charges, temporarily disabling shield generators and weapons systems on 5 enemy ships. "Now," Allen ordered, "all ships target the disabled vessels." Earth's fleet fired in unison, focusing their new quantum-linked weapons on the vulnerable alien craft. 3 enemy ships exploded, their hulls torn apart by weapons they thought couldn't harm them. Kryvax snarled in frustration. How are they penetrating our shields? This technology should be beyond them. On his science vessel, an alien technician worked frantically. They've somehow adapted our own technology against us. Their weapons exist in quantum superposition, allowing them to— "Spare me the science," Kryvax interrupted. "Can you counter it?" "Not quickly," the technician admitted. "We need time to adjust our shield frequencies." "Time you don't have," Kryvax growled. "Launch the doomsday device. If we can't have this system's resources, no one will." The largest alien vessel opened a massive bay door, revealing the sinister device unlike anything humans had ever seen. Its purpose was clear even to those without advanced technical knowledge. It was a planet killer. "They're deploying some kind of super weapon," Greg reported, his voice tight. "Energy readings are off the charts." Ellen exchanged glances with Diane. "This is it. Special team, prepare for boarding action." What followed was humanity's most desperate gamble. While Earth's main fleet engaged the alien ships directly, a small, specialized craft broke away from the battle. Using the chaos as cover, it approached Kryvax's flagship from below. Aboard this craft, Colonel Alan Foster led a team including Lieutenant Great Hayes and Major Diane Carter. All three wore experimental space armor incorporating alien materials. One chance at this, Alan reminded them as their ship attached itself to the alien vessel's hull. "Get in, upload the virus, get out if possible." Using cutting tools, they created an entry point and infiltrated the alien flagship. Moving through strange corridors with artificial gravity, they fought their way toward the central computer core. Greg's knowledge of alien language patterns guided them past security checkpoints. Meanwhile, in Earth orbit, civilian satellites have been hastily modified to form a planetary shield grid. It wasn't nearly as powerful as alien shields, but it might buy precious minutes if the doomsday weapon fired. Aboard the alien vessel, the human team reached the central computer room. Alien crew members fought fiercely to stop them, but the humans' determination proved stronger. Greg uploaded Dr. Karen Hughes' virus, while Alan and Diane held off the alien security forces. "Upload complete," Greg announced. "The virus is spreading through their network." Throughout the alien fleet, systems began failing. Weapons powered down, shields flickered, and communications died. The virus spread from ship to ship through their quantum entanglement networks. As Kryvax watched his fleet lose power, a new signal appeared on his personal communication device. A human face. Scientist Zara, who had defected to humanity days earlier. "You underestimated them," she told him simply. "As we all did." In a final, desperate move, Kryvax activated the doomsday weapon manually. "If I die, their world dies with me." But engineer Steve Barrett and computer scientist Maria Lopez, working from Earth's defense headquarters, had been prepared for this possibility. Using the knowledge Zora had provided, they hacked into the weapons systems at the last moment. "Polarity reversed," Maria announced as her code executed. "It's working." The doomsday weapon's energy, meant to destroy Earth, instead turned back upon itself and the alien fleet. A blinding flash lit up Earth's sky like a second sun as the weapon backfired. When the light faded, the remaining alien vessels drifted powerless in space. Earth had won. 1 year passed since the great battle in Earth orbit. Humanity had changed forever. The damaged alien ships, once fearsome weapons of war, now floated in special docks built in space. Teams of scientists and engineers worked inside them, learning and adapting their technology for human use. Earth itself buzzed with activity and new construction. Buildings rose with materials that seemed to defy gravity. Vehicles moved without burning fuel. Energy flowed freely from power plants that harnessed the principles reverse-engineered from alien technology. Admiral Peterson stood at the window of the new Space Defense Headquarters, watching ships come and go from the orbital stations. "Hard to believe how far we've come in just a year," said Paul Mitchell, now director of Earth's first true interstellar program. John nodded. And to think they classified us as no threat. In laboratories around the world, the pace of innovation continued at an astonishing rate. Dr. Karen Hughes had successfully adapted alien shield technology to protect cities from natural disasters like hurricanes and earthquakes. Steve Barrett's team had revolutionized transportation with gravity control systems that made traditional engines obsolete. Most remarkable was Olivia Reeves' breakthrough in communication. By studying the aliens' quantum entanglement system, she developed technology that could send messages instantly across vast distances, faster than light itself. The FTL comm system is ready, she announced during a meeting of the newly formed Earth Council. We can now communicate with our ships anywhere in the solar system without delay. Those ships, built using recovered alien designs but improved by human innovation, now patrolled the entire solar system. Permanent bases had been established on Mars, the moons of Jupiter, and even distant Pluto. Humanity had claimed its stellar neighborhood. Admiral Peterson led the first diplomatic mission beyond the solar system. Using the captured alien ships, now refitted with human crews, they visited 3 nearby star systems that had been bypassed by the Galactic Council for having few valuable resources. There they found other species, also classified as no threat and ignored. Together, they formed the Free Systems Alliance, a partnership of independent worlds determined to protect themselves from exploitation. Meanwhile, at the edge of the solar system, the monitoring beacon left years ago by Commander Zellner continued to transmit its outdated assessment of Earth. When that beacon suddenly went silent, the Galactic Council took notice. 6 months later, a new ship entered the solar system. Not a warship, but a diplomatic vessel flying universal peace symbols. The Council had finally realized that military force would not work against Earth. Admiral Peterson, Colonel Foster, and representatives from every Earth nation met the alien diplomats aboard the space station Unity. The head diplomat, a tall being with 6 limbs, bowed deeply. The Galactic Council extends greetings and regrets the unfortunate conflict, the alien said through a translator. We wish to offer membership in our organization, with full rights and protections. John Peterson allowed himself a small smile. And what changed the Council's view of Earth? The diplomat shifted uncomfortably. Your unexpected capabilities have been noted. The Council reassessed your classification. To what level? Alan Foster asked, though he already knew the answer. Threat level 10, the diplomat admitted. The highest possible designation. The classification reserved for species that should be approached with extreme caution and absolute respect. The negotiations lasted for weeks. Earth demanded reparations for the unprovoked attack, recognition as a sovereign power, and guarantees against future resource exploitation. The Council, facing the prospect of a long and costly war they might not win, agreed to all terms. On the final day of talks, Zara, the defector who had helped save Earth, approached Paul Mitchell. Your world has changed the balance of power in the galaxy, she said quietly. For the first time in 10,000 years, the Council fears another power. Paul looked out at the stars visible through the station's viewport. We never wanted to be feared. We just wanted to be left in peace. Sometimes the two are connected, Zara replied. But take heart, there are many worlds that will welcome Earth as a protector rather than conqueror. Far away on the edge of the galaxy, a new alien scout ship approached an uncharted system with signs of developing intelligence. The captain reviewed the updated protocols, remembering the costly lesson of Earth. We will observe only, he told his crew. If they detect us, we will introduce ourselves properly and respectfully. The days of simply taking what we want are over. As the scout ship settled into orbit, the captain sent the first message home. Native civilization detected. Proceeding with peaceful contact protocols as per the Earth Accords. Humanity had not just secured its own future among the stars, it had changed how the galaxy itself would work from that day forward.